This episode of the Redbeard Podcast is brought to you by DJ Tone Entertainment. If you're looking for a DJ to provide the best entertainment with cutting-edge equipment for your event, then look no further. From weddings and corporate events to birthday parties and family reunions, DJ Tone Entertainment can do it all. You can find their rates on Facebook or message them for a personalized quote. So don't wait. Book DJ Tone Entertainment today. Yo, what's up, everybody? It's Cooley, and we are here today to talk to you about Independence Day Resurgence, which may be one of the most epic failures in cinematic storytelling ever. Think about that. And then we'll get back to you in a couple of seconds.
Redbeard Podcast is brought to you by these cool dudes.
And we're back. Yo, I'm chilling here with my boy Tony.
Yo, what's up? How you doing?
And Jim.
Good afternoon, everyone.
And, of course, I'm Cooley. So what we did was last week on Friday, we talked about Independence Day, or ID4, which to me wasn't a bad movie, but to my co-host was one of the greatest movies ever. However, while we disagreed on Friday, today, Monday, we all can be in agreement that Independence Day Resurgence was a steaming pile of shit.
Oh, it's awful.
It is one of the worst movies ever made. How does that happen? Like I know that you're not like the biggest fan of it. You thought it was a fun movie, but to me it's like, how do you, like, it was my favorite movie of all time, and then they have 20 years to put a new movie together and they go with that just steaming pile of garbage. Like, there's no way that they looked at that script and they were like, yeah, that's A+. And then they hired a bunch of actors and they started acting, and the director was like, hell yeah, this brings back the glory days. And then they're editing it, and everyone in between, none of them are like, maybe we should scrap this. How does that work? Because there's so much wrong with this movie.
It felt, when I watched it, it felt like they tried to squeeze in like 10, maybe 12 different movies into one movie.
It was very uneven. There's no build-up whatsoever.
Everything is just very disjointed. Like, there's no, like, really steady, like, plot line, I guess. You know what I mean? It's just like all, like, it goes off in one direction and then it cuts away and then it comes back and it's something different and you're like, what the hell's going on?
How do you do a sequel to a movie 20 years later and the special effects are no better?
Yeah, I mean, they really didn't do anything to actually up the special effects.
Like, they
in the
were
last
worse.
movie.
They went backwards. It's like nobody learned any new tricks. It was just like, all right, here's the same shit, and then we'll throw in this other stuff that really is like worse than the last movie we did.
I have so much that I want to say about this movie. I feel like the original movie, Independence Day, was this large blockbuster summer movie. I almost want to say it's one of the original summer movies.
Oh, it is. Yeah.
And the movies that you go to see just to be entertained and to just have your eyes open wide at the visual effect of it and just have fun. And then this movie comes out and it's almost like this campy kind of like B movie, like spoof of sci-fi movies. It's almost like like a big budget Sharknado.
No, I know campy and I know B movies, and I don't see this as a B movie or campy.
But like, campy
I just see it as a
B-movies are
complete
fun.
failure.
I guess that's what I'm trying to say. I understand that it's a failure, but I feel that the Resurgence movie, they tried to take themselves so less seriously. and be like, now this is just going to be fun for the sake of being fun. Now it's just going to be this crazy, like anything goes science fiction movie.
You know what I think? There's a couple problems
And
with
it's just
this movie.
stupid.
I mean, there's more than a couple problems, but I think one of the big ones is they tried to do too much too fast. Like, apparently, like Will Smith's son is actually one of the lead characters in this movie, but like he is the most underwhelming character ever. You would expect the son of Captain Hillard to be like this larger than life character because of everything his father did, and like you could give two shits about this character, and if anything happens to him,
It's the epitome of phoning it in.
yeah, that's the other thing about this movie.
He was
is
in
that,
he was in like 30 seconds of the movie.
and that's my point.
In the first 30, 40 minutes of the film.
If that. And the other thing too is there was 0% character development. Like, if anything happened to any of these characters, you could care. There were main characters that went out in the course of this movie, and I didn't care. Like, I did not care. The only person that I actually felt bad for was, and I can't even remember her name, but it was the woman who was in the first movie. Vivica A. Fox. She goes out on like top of a building, and for me it was like I actually kind of cared about that because I liked her character, and I'm like, that's how she's gonna go out. Like, I would have rather she wasn't even in the movie.
Can we talk about one of the disjointed moments of the history of those two movies is how Vivica A. Fox was a stripper in Independence Day, and then without explanation, she's a doctor.
She's a doctor, yeah.
In
It
Resurgence.
is 20 years later. I mean, she could have been going to work as a stripper to save money to go to medical school, which 8 years, 16 years to actually become a doctor. She could. It's plausible.
It's
There's
plausible, but
there's no explanation.
That's the thing. I'm not saying she couldn't have become a doctor. You know, plenty of strippers are doing it so that they can pay their way through school. I get that.
Right.
But it just seems so out of nowhere, and then it doesn't have an effect on the movie.
It doesn't. No, it's like,
Yeah.
oh, cool, she's a doctor now, but
Like she just has like
And
a
she's
cameo.
saving babies. Like that's.
yeah.
You know that I think that's Roland Emmerich trying to make up for making her a stripper in the first movie. That's all.
And then she dies in front of her kid,
Yeah.
and her kid's just like, oh no, darn, mom's dead.
I think the other part of this movie that I really didn't like was there's two things that stand out to me every time I think about this movie.
Two
things specifically
Okay.
that stand out as far as really bad choices among the overall bad choices that there are.
I was
the
going to say
millions of them.
there might be two things that
No,
stand
they-
out to me as like good choices.
No.
This
These are bad things that like I said, stand out amongst the other bad things. The first one is I understand that aliens are intelligent, and obviously we're supposed to believe that these type of aliens also can fly spacecraft and all that stuff, right? Because they do it throughout the course of the entire movie. But when I see this type of alien pick up a gun and start firing it, it loses all credibility for me.
It
really does.
that was
I mean,
a
they were
ridiculous
picking up
moment.
like alien guns and like firing them like soldiers. I'm like, come on. Like, that's bullshit. Like that was just like so campy and so cheesy to me. And I'm like, they didn't do anything close to that in the first movie. Like, let's not try to like up the ante and like have them do that in this movie.
they fly spaceships. Why can't they shoot a gun? I mean,
Just don't do that. It's dumb. Like,
you know what
it's
was dumb to me?
Not the fact that it was shooting something. It was just the fact that it looked like it was holding like just a rifle. Like it looked like it just grabbed a machine gun and was like bang, 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 bang. Like it just looked so awkward. The alien holding it in its hand.
Yeah.
Like if it maybe had something that looked
like a gun that looked more like
that looked
like,
a little more extraterrestrial.
Yeah, thank you.
Or if it held the gun a little differently
Yeah.
than we would, I could
Yeah.
understand that. But it held it like a normal human being would, and it just seemed awkward.
Yeah, that's. I mean, I don't know. Can somebody explain space Siri to me?
Space what?
Siri.
The round ball that just
Like, 'cause
one of the dumbest ideas in that whole movie.
that just
I'm sorry, I don't understand what you said right now. but you look at Alien, they call Siri Mother. Mother, please close the hatch doors.
Bear left at Crab Nebula.
Make a U-turn at Saturn. So, I don't know, man. That was a stupid choice. Also, here's the other thing. Dr. Oaken. Okay.
Oh,
one
yeah.
of my favorite
one of the
characters,
biggest things.
One of my favorite characters in the Independence Day movie has been in a coma for 20 years. 20 years. He just starts to wake up, right? And when he actually gets up, he's walking around with no muscle atrophy at all.
Even
like you will not be walking around if you haven't moved your legs in 20 years.
In fact, he gained weight.
There's serious muscle atrophy. I'm sorry. That's years of recovery. And he's walking around like he was at Area 51 in the first movie.
Can I go one step further? Not only was he in a coma, walking around and was fine after, but he flat out died in that first movie.
That's what I was gonna say.
He
That's
was
a flaw.
dead. He was dead. And then the next movie starts and it was like, psych, coma.
That's the thing that I didn't understand. They never explained that because in the first movie they
Awful.
pull the tentacle off his neck and check for a pulse, and there isn't one.
Yeah,
How
right?
How about this, right?
Like the dumbest Secret Service agent ever to be nope, no, he's not alive.
So I want to go back to Space Siri for a minute.
Space Siri.
So did anybody else find it weird that her entire race was wiped out by the harvesters, yet she was going to train all of the species in the galaxy to destroy the harvesters?
Yeah, well, there's like
and provide them with weapons to defeat them? How? If her whole race was wiped out, like that's not who I want training me to defend ourselves against that thing.
Well, there's a planet. There's like a planet that's literally just a training ground for other aliens, and I think that she's one of like the founders of this planet, and she's just a fucking ping pong ball, and she's
a glowing ping pong ball.
It doesn't that like bother you that like the harvesters just wiped out a bunch of ping pong balls except for this one?
Well, it's like I look at that and all I think of is the movie Sphere. I'm like, oh, that's what that is. You know what I mean? It's that thing that came out of the ocean at the end of the movie. I don't know. Like the movie Sphere, that's all I think of.
Oh, no,
yeah.
I completely agree. Like there was just a whole planet of like
Balls.
robots from the video game Portal walking around.
Yeah, for real.
And this one gets away. Like what did the harvesters want with an alien species that is completely just technology? Because didn't it go to
Earth? How was that a threat to them?
Exactly. Didn't it go to Earth because Earth has all these resources?
Mm-hmm.
And then
No. What went to Earth? The ball or the?
no, the original aliens, the harvesters.
They went to Earth to take the Earth's
yeah,
core.
to use the natural resources.
Just the Earth's core, though, to get the energy from the Earth's core to fuel their ships. That's what the freaking
what
ball
a bunch
said.
of dicks.
That's what Siri said.
That ball sucked. The second that ball showed up, I went, oh.
You know what's funny about this too is we had the pleasure of meeting Brent Spiner, who plays Dr. Oaken.
We did.
At Comic-Con. And I was so psyched to meet this dude because of this movie and because it's really dumb, but I really like him in a movie with Walter Matthau and Jack Lemmon called Out to Sea, which when I brought that up to him, he was like, no, he's like, I love that movie. That's one of my favorite movies. But anyway, regardless.
Not the audiences.
Well, hey man, regardless, I don't give a shit. It's totally not, but I think it's fucking great. But anyway.
Out to Sea.
Oh dude, it was good. But anyway, so we talked to him about this and he just like, he's sitting like in front of his booth in a chair and like, we were waiting in line for a long time, and he walks up to everybody in the line. He's like, I know, guys, you've been waiting for a while. He's like, but hang out. He goes, I promise. He goes, it's gonna be worth it to meet me. Like he was a ball buster. But then he was like saying hi to people in line, and when we talked to him, I was like, hey, really loved you as Dr. Oaken in Independence Day. I was like, that was great. And he's like, oh yeah, we had such a fun time making that movie. He goes, and the sequel was a lot of fun too. He goes, but I don't think there's gonna be another one. He goes, because of the way that one went. He goes, and we signed for 3. He goes, but that's not happening.
Oh, no,
so
it's totally
it
not.
was just funny to hear him admit like how awful it was. You know.
Speaking of Brent Spiner, I really what happened to
Data?
No. Outcast season 2.
I don't know, man. I don't know if that's actually coming back. I heard some stuff about that, and I don't think anything's going on with it, or it's delayed. It's seriously delayed.
It's sad. I mean, Reggie Cathy's dead, so his character is not going to be on the show. I don't know if that has anything to do with it or not, but I mean, I'm sure they can just write it. Not that I'm sure they could write him off or get like somebody else to. Nobody can replace him,
right?
Because that dude is amazing.
Oh, he's great.
But yes, I mean, write him off. Make the character dead or whatever. Jump forward a month or something like that. I don't know. It was such a good show. I thought.
I mean, yeah, it was. I mean, I watched some episodes of it, and I saw the episodes, a couple of the episodes that he was in. He was great.
I'm sorry. I needed to talk about something positive for a second so that we can get back to this friggin' dumpster fire.
You know what I didn't understand? I haven't really watched Independence Day Resurgence again after the theater because there's no reason to.
I just watched it for the first time today. Yeah, so it's fresh in my mind. You got questions, I can answer them.
Yeah, all right, man, because I was looking through the cast on IMDb. So James Redhorn, who played Mr. Nimziki in the first movie, is listed as a cast, and he wasn't alive when he passed away almost 4 years ago.
Who is Mr. Nimziki?
He's the guy that the president fires in the first one. He's like the
the jackass.
He's on the cast list for Independence Day Resurgence, and he had passed away before this movie.
I'll be honest with you, I don't remember seeing him.
Yeah, so what are they talking about on IMDb?
I think I remember seeing everybody but him, but that could just be because my eyes glossed over.
Was he in a picture or something in the background, or was there footage that they brought up from the first movie?
I don't know.
Because I don't remember seeing him in that. That's another weird thing.
I don't know. That's one. I think that's going to be an obscure detail in the film. I would have to watch that and scour it, but yeah. I don't foresee myself doing that anytime soon.
And props for Will Smith being no, I think I'm good with the sequel.
Yeah.
I mean, he made a really good decision.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Jeff Goldblum. I mean, this really didn't hurt his career because he's in the Jurassic Park movies. But
I felt like Jeff Goldblum was
the only.
I felt so bad for him. He was the only guy that didn't phone it in. Judd Hirsch. What was the point of him in this movie?
Yeah. No, honestly though, you're right, man. You're right.
We were talking about Judd Hirsch.
He was the best part.
We were talking about Judd Hirsch earlier, and how he's just always looked exactly the same his entire life.
Oh yeah, he's just been old from birth.
Like from Taxi till now, he is the exact same person.
Old and Jewish.
I will tell you though, who's the other guy that was in this? Yeah, no, I mean, I wasn't, I didn't mind Bill Pullman in this though. I thought he
looked like he was on death's door, man.
Well, I think he's supposed to look kind of rough though. I mean, he was a washed up president. I didn't think he was as iconic as he was in the first movie, but I thought he did a okay job. I don't know about you guys.
Sure.
It was okay. I mean,
both of these movies were not oh, these actors are phenomenal. In my opinion anyway, it was both of these movies were kind of more of a spectacle than a true tour de force of acting. You know what I mean? I think they did a better job in the first one because I think they had a better script to work with. And they had better writing.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, honestly, I don't think anybody in this movie did a bad job acting, per se.
Resurgence?
Yeah.
Except for the kid that played Dylan Hiller.
Yeah, he's probably the only one.
Dude, I'm on the cast again, and they're saying that Harry Connick Jr. was in this. He died in the first movie. What? Dude, even this movie is so bad that it's affecting its IMDb page.
They're just trying to drum up business.
Oh, dude, what a horrible sequel. What a letdown.
It's like Member Berries, man. From South Park.
Oh, man.
I don't
remember Harry Connick Jr.?
I don't mean to cut you off, but you were talking about like looked like he was on death's door, Bill Pullman, and he did. But you know who looked worse was Robert Loggia or Loggia. I feel like I'm saying his name wrong.
Yeah, the captain or whatever.
Yeah, who plays General William Gray.
Yeah.
You saw him for a brief cameo sitting up there when they were like celebrating the 20-year anniversary of Independence Day, and he was a legit cadaver. And what was and what's so sad is right after that was done, he died. And I hate to say it, but I believe that that's the power of Independence Day Resurgence.
Oh God.
Was he was like, I'll do it. I'll do the cameo. And they like propped him up. I feel like at this point he was already bedridden. He has an illustrious career. I'm not taking anything away from his filmography.
Yeah.
But by that time he was retired to a bed, and they were like, all right, let's prop him up. And they sat him up, and then he was like, hey, guess who's here? General Gray. And he was like, bleh. And then the movie came out, and someone read the reviews to him, and he was just like,
Somebody read the reviews.
Robert? Yep. Yep.
That's the power of independence.
Yeah, that's one man whose career did not have a resurgence due to that movie.
Oh my God!
Man.
Like so
That was funny.
Beloved
beginning,
screen actor.
Totally.
He was great.
so in the beginning of the movie
Somebody take those sons of bitches down.
in the beginning of the movie that giant like orb comes rolling along,
Yeah, just like shows up on the moon.
and they're just like, shoot it.
Do it.
Why? and again, let's not listen to Jeff Goldblum.
Dude, he doesn't get listened to in this movie or Jurassic Park. Like,
No one gives. That makes no sense. Like Jeff Goldblum,
he's the voice of
legit
reason.
saved all of life.
Yeah, that's what's
Life.
sad.
Period.
That's
in
what's
96.
sad. Yeah, that's what's sad is that in the first Independence Day they didn't listen to him. And then they finally listened to him and everything worked out. And don't you learn from that mistake?
Oh yeah.
Don't you, like 20 years later when it happens again, when he gives you advice, don't you listen to him?
He's like Meg from Family Guy. Like he's insanely smart and he has good ideas, saved the world. And now in this movie, he's like, I think you guys maybe shouldn't do this. Shut up. Shut up, Dr. Levinson. What do you know? Take it down.
Attack.
Yeah. It's stupid. And not to mention that, like, we've clearly harnessed alien technology and have done nothing with it. like they partnered it with planes. Like,
yeah.
that's it.
And
that's all we
And it
got
was
from this.
all useless.
Yeah, all useless.
How about we saw what attacked us, right? We saw the size of those vessels, and we saw it. Why the fuck did we build such a little itty bitty defense post on the moon? Like the defense post was like, it was the size of a freaking DirecTV satellite dish.
Yeah, you
on the moon. Why?
that is right. You'd think that after this happened, they would have created some sort of a radar system to be able to span the galaxy to see a threat coming.
Yeah.
And then like this ball just
They're
shows
asking the
up. It's like,
question back-
boop, hey.
They're back
And
on
then
Earth asking the
shortly
question,
after-
how did we miss that? And like,
How did-
I'll tell you how you missed it. You had a freaking radar dish the size of the DirecTV dish on the side of my house.
How did that? That's
why
that
you
is
missed it.
very true. How did you miss a ship the size of fucking Mercury just showing up? and everyone's shocked, like it's already entering the atmosphere, and everyone's like, "What? Whoa! What's that breeze?"
It's. I also think that it's a little weird that you like at the end of the first movie, they have all these ships that just kind of crash into the earth. Like, I was always thinking about that. How many years did that take to clean everything up? Because those ships are miles long. Like, I don't think they're going anywhere. I think they're just there now. They're just monuments.
Not to mention how decimated Earth was after the first Independence Day. Like, literally every major city
The Statue
has
of
been
Liberty is wiped out.
destroyed.
Yeah.
You know, it's like
Think of this,
it's like
man.
the capital is now like North Attleboro, Massachusetts.
Well, I mean,
That's like the biggest city.
Why would
Well, think about
why would
this.
the queen ever leave that ship? She's the queen. The rest of the hive depends on her to control them. Why would she ever leave the confines of that giant ship?
think about this, man. The Twin Towers went down.
Yeah.
The Freedom Tower is up now. That took us 15 years to get done. What are we going to do with the decimation of Independence Day? Like, we are so far behind. Seriously.
Well, not with space theory giving us some help with technology and
Yeah, seriously.
and weapons.
Hopefully. Yeah.
No, but like I really want to know why first I want to know why the queen left. But once the queen left and we destroyed the queen, why didn't everything just stop? How did the ship power up and take off again? Like, did she have it programmed? Like, if I die, I want you to take off and leave these people alone like that?
It's like a self-destruct
That does not
mechanism.
sound like something that a warlord would do. Is be like, yo, if I die, you know?
I think this was. I mean, the only thing that I can think of is we all know that this was supposed to be a trilogy. Man, did they f that up? But the whole spaceship
Kick some
taking off.
alien ass.
That's how they end it. But the spaceship taking off is kind of like, now we have the aliens on the run, and we're gonna take the fight to space. And that was the only reason. Was it's like, now we're gonna find their home planet. But man,
Well, I don't know why there wasn't
horrible,
like a dead man's trigger on that ship, like where she dies and it just like blasts the core of the Earth, like with this like giant beam or whatever. Like that should have just been it. Earth's gone. I want a movie like that. I'm waiting for a movie where Earth gets destroyed. Nobody has the balls to do it.
So bad.
One day, I hope I'm alive when it happens. Not the movie, just
Like in real life.
just reality. Yep. Oh man, I want to be there when like real life Deep Impact happens.
Roland Emmerich really topped himself with this movie though.
Yeah.
Like I thought
And then he's been chasing that ever since.
The Day After Tomorrow was the worst movie ever.
Oh, yeah. We're talking about Resurgence.
Yeah.
Yeah. This probably killed his career
Yeah.
because he
This
hasn't
was-
done anything since this movie.
No. This was definitely like the worst movie. This beats The Day After Tomorrow. With their fucking dumb wolves in New York and
I forgot about that.
And like the oil tanker or like the aircraft carrier or whatever that just shows up in the like downtown Broadway.
Yeah.
Just like, like perfectly made a beeline through the one of the most populated cities in America. Just it's like shoving a log down a peephole.
was Cusack in that one?
No, that's 2012.
Oh, 2012. Yeah.
That's the Noah's Ark one.
Who was in this one? Was it?
Dennis Quaid
Yes.
and Jake Gyllenhaal.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, F
Young
yeah.
Jake Gyllenhaal.
Oh man, yeah.
Yeah, right
Young,
after Donnie Darko.
a very ripe Jake Gyllenhaal, like just on the cusp of starting to
Oh,
rot.
just right before Prince of Persia.
Oh man,
Yeah, oh my God, how come? You know what? That was before all the social justice stuff.
Yeah.
Because nobody flipped out about that shit.
No.
They should have.
Oh yeah. That was,
Yeah.
I feel like
Yep.
I feel like Roland Emmerich was like, how do I cast this shitty movie? And he's like just watching the movie Bubble Boy, and he's like, him, him, he's the guy. What's his name? JG. Get him on the phone. Hey G.
Hey, gee.
How do you feel about snow?
Yeah, this was a Independence Day Resurgence, epic failure.
Oh
Enough
yeah,
said.
the worst. The worst.
I
And
like to
each
call
movie has gotten progressively worse since Independence Day.
You know what though? The trailer actually made the movie look like it could be good.
Did it?
Well, here's the thing, and you've said this before. The trailer for The Predator looks good. I just hope this movie doesn't end up the same way as Resurgence.
There
did.
is not any way possible that it could be anywhere near the clusterfuck that Independence Day Resurgence is.
When I saw
we'll
I saw
see.
the trailer, I remember I was in the theaters with you, and we saw the trailer for Independence Day Resurgence, and I turned to you and went, "It's not gonna go good."
Yeah, well, I remember you watched the trailer a second time. We were somewhere, and you after as soon as you see the trucks going and you see like the alien skulls, you just went, "Oh," like I don't have a good feeling about this.
I knew from the start
We didn't mention
this isn't gonna go well.
we didn't mention that African dude with the machetes.
Because he wasn't one of the low lights of the movie. How
He was just a weird choice.
But how like weird is that he's kind of like, I can forgive that.
Okay, did you see his arm, like with all the tattoos?
Yeah. Yep.
Like all the markings, those are all the aliens that he killed by
he's
sneaking
like-
up on them from behind with his machetes.
Let's
What?
let's also talk about the fact that he's supposed to be like a warlord.
Okay.
Like he's supposed to be a horrible person.
How many aliens were walking around the planet like that he could just sneak up on is what I'm saying.
Yo, man, the Serengeti
He
is
said,
all aliens now.
man.
It's just aliens murdering giraffes for sustenance.
Which is a dream come true for you.
It is.
You
I
hate-
fucking hate giraffes. Oh my god. Oh, I want to break all their necks.
Jesus. Well, I think that pretty much does it for this episode of where we talk about the trash can that is the second Independence Day.
I'd rather
yes.
have watched Spice World.
Oh, God.
You know what? I would have too. I
Alright.
agree. That and Sucker Punch. I would rather watch Sucker Punch than this movie.
I enjoyed some of Sucker Punch.
Yeah.
I enjoyed some of Sucker Punch as well.
It had fun special effects.
Yeah, that's it. That's it though, man. Like we're wrapping it up. That was it for Resurgence. I am surprised that we could drag 30 minutes out of that piece of shit, but we did it. So
We did it.
pat on the back, high five to everybody at the table.
And on that note, let's go kick some alien ass.
Yeah, sure. Look, we'll catch you next week on the Red Beard Podcast, or actually at the end of this week, Friday. We'll also catch you on Thursday for the We Love Wednesdays Every Thursday show, which is a comic book based podcast by yours truly. And we also have tonight.
Hell yeah. It's the Bachelor After Party with Becca and Tony, and that comes out every Monday right after the episode.
Check us out on nerdruckus.com and follow us at nerdruckus on Twitter. You can also follow at Redbeard Podcast on Twitter. And we'll see you guys soon.
Hell yeah. And Nerd Ruckus Network has all the links to all of our stuff, so check it out.
See you later, everybody.
Peace.
Later.